And we are live. As you can see, my bottle of Evan Williams honey. It's been delicious. And I've drank a good deal of it. There's a sound check coming through, so let me pause that. All right. All right, sound checks out good. Hey there, Wise Night Owl and Brian Richardson. Both wrenches, Wrenchgate 2018. As you can see, I also have the Life Coach Levi hat on. We'll see how long I leave the video up. But just wanted to showcase my booze that I'm drinking. Hey there, Neo Red. Nice to see you. Good to see you. Let's see there. Neo, I like you. And it's Wrenchgate, so enjoy your wrench. Everybody has a wrench on Nemo's channel. Everybody has a fucking wrench. Everybody has a fucking wrench. So yeah, and welcome there, Rabbit. Good to see everybody after Charles's stream. He had a good stream tonight. So if anybody wants to get in on this action, I can have some people in. We're only going to go about a half hour because it is it's 2:30 right now, and I have my son this weekend, so he's going to wake me up in about 6 hours, and that's about as much sleep as I'm going to need to deal with a 7-year-old or an almost 7-year-old. And yeah, she won't have a wrench unless we see a Brussels sprout that shows up and starts wondering why he's not allowed to post on my channel. Brian, that's a good point that it negates the ability to troll, but that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point at all. We know that Wrenchgate happened because it pisses somebody off. Oh God, it pisses somebody off so badly that they can't help but fucking mention it on their own live stream. She's the only one with the wrench on my channel. You go over to that other guy's channel. Everybody has a wrench. Everybody's got a goddamn wrench on that guy's channel. Okay, Rabbit, I see you calling in. I see you calling in on my phone. So let me get the link and go on the Hangouts tab that I have open in my browser. Wow, I'm actually very proficient right now for being drunk at copying and pasting and all that good stuff. All right, wrong Hangouts window. So, and give me a second, guys. 10 seconds. Because Inebriated Nemo does still need, like, just a slight little bit of time to do anything that requires actual effort. As I wait for Google Hangouts to load so I can hand Dynamite Rabbit the link and bring him on to help fill some of the dead air. Oh, 10 viewers. Well, that's more than certain life coaches get at the beginning of a stream. That's good. That's good. I appreciate all of you all for coming and stopping by and watching. And while I'm waiting for my Hangouts tab to load, I'll go ahead and this will be the part of the stream where I thank my patrons for contributing to my channel. First off, Wise Night Owl with his $1 donation. I appreciate the cup of coffee. And Dynamite Rabbit with his $5 donation. Definitely appreciate that hamburger. Always good to offset the cost of a hamburger when I'm entertaining the little one. And then Jamie, the Purple Pill Guy, and Joe Buddy for their $1 donations. Appreciate it. Because I also patronize them each for $1 a month. So, we're basically just throwing dollars at each other. And it's a good thing for everybody. God damn it, Brian! You want me to impersonate Life Coach Levi? You're not good enough for Life Coach Levi, all right? I swear to God, all you trolls, you're just cyberbullying me, and it needs to stop. Okay? Hey, the Dynamite Rabbit, why don't you donate to Life Coach Levi? You can't do $20. I need the money. I'm in the Bay Area. It's expensive. Oh, it's nice to hear me in stereo, Rabbit.
What the fuck? Yeah, I can't figure out how to turn that off.
I think you still have the stream open probably on YouTube. I
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and you just mute that. I do that to do my live check of the sound. Thankfully, nobody else has to hear that when I do that because of my headphones. That's right, Neo. Cyberbullying is a crime, and you shouldn't be giving his address out because it'll turn him as white as the cum that's on his face. I know I got to give him like a minute to get that joke until the chat starts lighting up. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm not hearing both streams anymore, so I think maybe I fixed it.
No, you did because I'm not hearing it either. I went ahead and shut my video off. I just did that to show everybody that I still wearing the Life Coach Levi hat every so often. I really did buy that hat just to make parody videos of Eli.
Oh, jeez.
So he's right in the assumption that I spent my money just to make fun of him.
You know, what's funny is usually I can watch the stream without a whole bunch of echo, and I
Oh, I just heard it pop up again.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that because usually I don't have that problem when I jump on a hangout. I can usually I can usually like either mute something on the video or whatever, and like monitor the chat while we're talking. I don't know why it's not doing it now.
It just wants to piss you off. I think I'm going to blame Eli just because it's convenient.
Man. Yeah, I kind of yeah, I actually prefer not to talk about life coaches, but it seems like it's all the rage, so it's kind of hard to resist getting involved. But and I also kind of regret seeing them everywhere I go now.
I know.
Because there's so many content creators now that are memeing the shit out of them.
Yeah, I know. That one from Sydney was great, but then when MGTOW 101, when the biggest fucking MGTOW channel on YouTube puts a parody of you in his video, oh my god.
Yeah, and the thing I miss, Miggy doesn't use it that much anymore, but he used to have that cool one where John Cena's head pops in and says, "Are you sure about that?"
Yeah.
I miss that one. But yeah, so you got the kid this weekend, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It's fatherhood weekend here at the Nemo household.
Right on.
So yeah, it's enjoyable, but I'm glad that I do still get to pop on and enjoy, spending my time on YouTube.
Yeah. It's funny, the topic that was over on Charles F. Gray about, the Cougars and that website where you can find out where they hang out.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of the line that I just spaced his name, dang it. Christian Bale. Did you ever see the movie Reign of Fire about the dragons?
I've seen parts of it, but I haven't seen the whole movie.
Okay, well, I dig that movie. I think it's awesome. But at the beginning when he's giving the background on how the dragons essentially scorched the whole earth, he says there's a part where he says they're starving and they're more dangerous than ever. That's what I think of whenever someone says cougar. That's what I think of is, yeah, they're starving, especially with more guys going MGTOW.
Yeah, and I think the cougar is like the thirsty version of a female. Like when men are that thirsty in their 20s, but the women get super thirsty when they've already hit the wall at Mach speed all the way to the scene of the crash.
Yeah, well, it must be getting tougher for them because with so many men in the ages of say like 28 to 35 or even higher, being the typical targets of affection from women in their mid 20s, with so many of them going MGTOW now, I gotta believe that the Cougars are having a hell of a time competing with the girls who are in their mid-20s who are still on the hunt for guys slightly older than them. So this should get pretty. This should get interesting over the next few years.
Oh, I think so. I think we're going to see a new breed of crazy cat lady. You know, that lonely woman sitting on her couch with the dildos and cats. She's like, where have all the good men gone?
Oh, we've already got that. There's God, who was it that showed? Oh, it was Terrence Popp. Recently did a video showing this chick who's like sort of in the process of smashing face first into the wall, and she's on there. I mean, yeah, this poor bitch is like, I mean, she's something like 35, and she's already posting video after video about how there's no good men out there, and she's done. And then the next night, the next day, she's posting a video, screaming about how she tried to go dating again, and yeah, it's
yeah. Is that one woman who writes for that website? I think he did that video three or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it's a fairly recent video.
Yeah, it is pretty funny though. I mean, Terrence Popp, Jesus, that guy's excellent.
Oh, Pop is a fucking man. I'm surprised he only has like 30K in subscriptions because his show is just excellent. It's excellent. It's well produced. It's well written. He and Bitch Blake do a really good job with that brand.
Yeah, they do. But he's always on point too. Like sometimes sometimes you'll see some of these guys critiquing, things said by feminists, and they every once in a while they'll really miss the mark on a few things. But Terrence Popp's usually, like right in what I would consider the standard of deviation for what a guy would think about what she writes.
Oh yeah, and I think it's that ranger in him, and his sights are just laser focused, and he's not going to miss a fucking beat at all.
Well, and he's got help. I mean, obviously, some of the guys he works with, are pretty humorous dudes as well.
Oh, guaranteed. That is why since I've been in this arena of all the MGTOW content, Terrence Popp has been the mainstay content producer in my weekly watch rotation because he always delivers. Like I don't think he's had a bad video since I've been watching him. Even his little live from the Lairs are all good.
Oh yeah, and he's not, and he doesn't hesitate to go scorched earth when necessary.
Oh, definitely. Like I'm really looking forward to. I still haven't watched his video this week on Obama, and I know it's going to be scathing. And I'm going to need to be in the right mindset to watch that shit.
I think I may have watched that one. I don't know. I recall one of his videos having some stuff about some stupid shit Obama had said, which isn't hard to find, with 8 years of material to work with.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
the funny thing is, you never heard conservatives talking about "not my president" shit when Obama was in office, like they did with W, and now they're foaming at the vagina about Donald Trump too. But you never saw the other side when Obama was in office, holding rallies for "not my president" and Obama.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of
all that shit.
It reminds me of there's certain football teams who choose to cherry pick the replay, the review replay bit, and basically the refs have to wear disguises when they leave the stadium because the Raiders fans will absolutely stomp their guts out in the parking lot,
Yeah.
That wasn't holding. You lost us the game. It's like, no, the Raiders lost the game. but yeah, they all want to shoot the ref, Yeah,
it's always about attacking the messenger.
Yeah, well, one of the most dangerous social phenomena I ever witnessed was back, God, when was that? I think it was I want to say it was around 90 or 96 or 7. There was right there in Oakland, about 2 blocks apart, there was a like Metallica / Iron Maiden festival, and and some other metal bands, and of course Metallica, is the Bay Area's heavy metal homeboys, and there was also a Raiders Chargers game. I think it was the Chargers, and well, it couldn't have been the Chargers. It was another California team. I don't remember which one now. All I remember is they both ended around the same time, and the parking lots in between the stadium and the theater merged up with Oakland metalheads and Oakland Raiders fans, and this spontaneous like riot occurred, and like 20 cars got flipped, and people smashed a bunch of shit. And I was like, I think one of the most dangerous thing. It's like the perfect storm, right?
Oh, definitely.
These two crowds
you
collided.
get all that testosterone.
Oh man, it was fucking pandalarium. Anyhow,
all that aggression, and I'm just sitting here thinking, I would love to see a Metallica Iron Maiden double bill. That would just be a great fucking show.
Oh yeah, well, and you know who else was there was, or no, I'm thinking of a different. At the Monsters of Rock, up in Seattle, back in the late '80s, I saw. See, it was Metallica, Iron Maiden, the Scorpions, and Van Halen.
And, damn, bro.
Yeah, and there were several other bands there too. I can't remember who though. I'm having trouble pulling all the names up, but there were like 9 bands there that were just huge. And oh yeah, and the only downside to some shows like that is like you say, the high testosterone. It was like I saw numerous instances where it looked like a guy wearing a Metallica shirt was about to crush the skull of a guy wearing a Scorpions shirt, just because.
Yeah. Like I've seen some situations like that. Both times were at fucking Slayer concerts. Dude, Slayer fans, my really? God. Talk about unbridled testosterone pumping through veins.
Jeez, I don't think I've ever seen Slayer.
Oh, well, you're going to have to, because it's their last tour. They just decided they're going to do their last tour, but the amount of just unbridled aggression and testosterone in those pits that I saw from, because I stand in the back because, I actually want to see the music, but those pits were brutal. I saw them from a distance and thought somebody has something fucking broken.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, the worst, I think the most grievous injury I ever, witnessed up close in a mosh pit was at, back in spring of 1980, I went down to Santa Monica Civic with some buddies of mine, and we saw the Clash, the Dickies, and the Jam. And this was before the Clash sort of went top 40. It was like the Give 'Em Enough rope period. And there was a dude that had a heavy duty, safety pin with a by heavy duty, I mean it was like probably about 3 inches long, so it was pretty beefy metal. But he had that through the corner of his lip, leading to a chain that I think went to his ear, and somebody got their arm stuck in that chain in the mosh pit, or just grabbed it, and instead of it ripping from one end, the like on the ear end or whatever, the safety pin actually ripped clean through his lip all the way back to the molars. And man, that dude was bleeding like one of those horror movies Charles likes to watch. And oh man, it was brutal. And everybody around him wound up spattered in blood. It was like, wow, this really is a punk concert.
Oh wow. That would have been a great fucking show. 1980s, The Clash.
Yeah. It was right before they put out London Calling. It was between Give 'Em Enough Rope and London Calling, I think.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Like you said, right before the top 40 kind of version of the band.
Yeah, right. It was well before they put out Rock the Casbah.
Yeah. I still
Flaming Hot Casbah.
You remember that? God, what was it? An AT&T commercial where the two guys were like really, really missinging the lyrics to Rock the Casbah, and one guy said "Lock the Cat Box." Do you remember that commercial? That TV commercial? I don't. Oh, it was great. And every time I hear "Rock the Casbah," I always or lock the cat box
Oh, geez.
instead.
Yeah, the only time I've ever had a TV under my roof was when I also owned a broken dishwasher.
Oh yeah,
So
kind of like Blue Ball Brandon has that Maytag that's all out of whack.
yeah, it's like, hello, Maytag. I think my dishwasher's broken. Why? What's it doing? It's swiping on Tinder.
That sounds like a Sicily's problem right now.
Oh well,
Sicily, back me up. I'm Coach Levi. I'm right all the time. Sicily, I need you to back me up. Oh Lord.
Yeah, well, dudes wind up in situations, and I try not to find humor in them too much. I mean, if you can laugh along with the guy, but it's like, I mean, I can laugh along with the guy who's in less than stellar circumstances with his dishwasher, and it it actually aggrieves me, because I yeah. Because every escape plan has to be slightly different. What worked for me won't work for them.
Yeah, amen to that.
Because the dishwashers are so inconsistent. I mean, even ones of the same brand, you don't, a lot of them, some of them are missing parts, and some have enhanced parts, and they behave differently depending on what cycle you put them on. Dishwashers are a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. There's a comment here in the chat that might trigger somebody.
What's that?
Chris Jones says, loving the metal talk. Just saw Trivium and Arch Enemy recently. Arch Enemy was amazing musically, but the female vocalist is trying too hard, or is too try hard. So yeah. I'll just say, present company excluded, that's in the chat, because I know somebody has some personal connection to one of these bands. That Arch Enemy sucks. Like, musically, they're good, but I mean, their singer now, she sucks. I didn't even like their last singer, who was also a female, Angela. I didn't really care for her either. Arch Enemy hasn't been good since they had a man at the helm for vocals. And Trivium, I don't know if Dynamite Rabbit knows about Trivium, but
no, I'm not familiar with them.
Their first two albums were great. Like back, this has been a while now, at least 10 years. But the album they just released, The Sin and the Sentence, is fucking brilliant. It's the best thing they've released since Ascendancy, and that's at least a 10-year gap. So, but they do put on a good show too. I saw them with Fear Factory. God, back in the day here.
Right.
That was a great fucking show. That was like 13 years ago. I saw them with Fear Factory. I feel old talking about all these concerts I used to go to, and it's not even like 2004. That's really in my eyes not that long ago, but
right. Well, and that's the way it is. You're gonna find, Nemo, that I think, as I have, that even though certain things like walking up and down stairs might get a little bit more arduous, when you're older, but the things that depending on how vivid your memory is, like, not all people have a vivid memory, like my sister has difficulty remembering anything that happened yesterday, and constantly gets shit wrong from 25 years ago. She'll start reminiscing about something, and I'm like, Kim, you're the only person who experienced that. The rest of us were there, but anyway, but what happens though is, I have a rock room where I put up all my memorabilia, and I mean, I have assigned, I have a lot of autographed album covers and stuff, because my older sister used to work for a concert promoter, so I used to weasel my way in and get all kinds of, like, inside scoop on, shortly announced Tower Records visits from these bands and stuff. And I mean, I still have a lot of LPs that have all the B-52 signatures on them, all of Blondie's signatures, the Motels, I mean, a lot of those, like, new wave bands, the Tubes, I mean, and the Cars. It's freaking awesome. And, you look at them, And I can vividly remember Debbie Harry signing, and I'm just like, yeah, I was, 3 feet from Debbie Harry.
Oh,
And,
that's freaking sweet.
I still do stuff like that. Like the most recent one I did was I went down to Phoenix and I paid a little extra to get the VIP meet and greet for In This Moment. And those dudes and Maria Brinks are just such cool people,
Oh yeah,
I,
they're great.
I mean, but their stuff is brutal. The music itself is brutal, and she doesn't pull any freaking punches. But she's such a nice person otherwise. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I would definitely like to do some of that kind of meet and greet stuff. Like I don't know, here in the Louisville area, in the in April, the Sword is coming, and they're one of my like favorite bands right now.
Oh, cool.
I saw them, in May of 2017 with my, now ex fiance, but they were touring with Clutch, and I saw them, and I was like, wow, these guys are fucking great. And they only played like a 30-minute set, but they're coming here in April, and I kind of want to see if they're going to offer a VIP kind of experience and pay the extra money.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can really luck out because, like, especially if it's a small venue. Like, one of my favorite bands of all time is Reverend Horton Heat, and
Oh yeah, great rockabilly.
I fucking love rockabilly. I always have. But the like when they came to Flagstaff, they played at this place called the Museum Club, which actually gets very big acts when and they'll add them spontaneously. Like
Mm-hmm.
if they're they just did a concert, say in Albuquerque, they'll drive over to Flagstaff and add a spontaneous show at the Museum Club or at the Orpheum, and then drive on to LA to do the next show that following night, or Vegas, or wherever they're going next. And I went ahead and scored the VIP via Facebook when I saw the announcement for Reverend Horton Heat, being at the Museum Club like in 7 hours, right?
Yeah.
And when I got there, I was the only one who'd bought a VIP ticket. So I took I had taken my big orange Gretsch. I have an orange, one of the Gretches, and I took it in there, and all three of the guys signed it. And I actually, got to hang out with Jimbo and Scott and Jim Heath by myself in a little office in the Museum Club for like an hour.
Oh wow, that's fucking great.
And I asked them all kinds of questions, and yeah, they were super cool dudes. But yeah, that Jimbo, I'll tell you what, he can. That guy was like buying shots at the back bar. He was doing like house rounds at the back bar for like an hour and a half. I mean, it was unreal.
Oh wow. Wow,
Dude,
that's the shit.
dude likes to party.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. The only experience.
Darren says you guys are fucking triggering the shit out of me. And apparently, he's got something on In This Moment. I don't know. And maybe he's got history with them too. But it would be great to have him come up on the chat and tell us what's up with that.
Oh yeah, it would.
Yeah. Yeah, another one that I always enjoyed live, and I love her voice, is Evanescence. They used to put on a really good show, and Amy Lee's voice reminds me of like Pat Benatar, because like back in the early '80s when I saw Pat Benatar several times. I swear, man, if the sound engineering was good, when she opened her mouth, it sounded like she was channeling the Earth's core through her ankles. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah. And I can kind of I get the comparison of Amy Lee and Pat Benatar, because they kind of have that not super feminine voice, but still not masculine in any way. They kind of like bridge the gap between the sexes, and powerful voice. Both.
I mean, I know they can do all kinds of manipulations with vocal tone and stuff like that, in post-production, which is something like Butch Vig, does quite a bit of. But the thing is, Amy Lee and Pat Benatar in particular impress me as the kind of singers who use their entire, everything they got lung-wise,
Yeah,
I mean, you can
definitely.
you can just really hear that they're not holding anything back, and yet they're not exceeding their limits. Whereas a lot of these singers who try too hard, they exceed their limits, and you can tell. It's like when a teenager's voice is cracking. Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
And you can just like hear where they get auto-tuned, exactly what moment and what song.
Oh yeah. It's terrible.
It's like fuck. I was just talking about this with one of my managers at work the other night. Like Katy Perry, she can't fucking sing. Like, she's got a great rack and she's nice to look at, but she can't fucking sing to save her ass.
Yeah, she went to the same high school that one of my first high school girlfriend went to, which is San Marcos, up north of Santa Barbara. Yeah, I hardly ever like hung out, dated girls from my own high school, but the yeah. So I jokingly refer to Katy Perry as my homegirl, but
yeah.
But I mean, she's another one of these cookie cutter pop stars.
Oh, of course, but I mean, she's really nice to look at, and the things I would do to her.
Well, she does funny stuff too. Yeah, she does funny stuff too. Like I've seen photos of her like at the opening for the Smurfs movie, and she was all done up like Smurf.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got a hell of a sense of humor,
That's true. Hell of a sense of humor to match the rack. God damn. She's got big titties. Thank you, Bourbon, for the loosening up of the lips.
Right. The Whoosh says, I just heard Little Howie come out.
Whoosh, Lil Howie is in full effect. All right. These women, they're just flaunting it for Lil Howie, and they want Lil Howie real bad. But Big Howie gives in. He gives in. He likes the women. Lil and Big Howie, they like women.
Would Little Howie like to go see a Katy Perry concert?
Lil Howie would be backstage and in Katie's dressing room. See, and when Katie came back, Lil Howie would pull a Justin Timberlake on her, put his dick in a box. You know how it goes.
Yeah, what's funny is I don't know if you were listening to his stream, but Howard Dare mentioned you on his stream a couple days ago.
Oh yeah, I remember. I gave him $1 in super chats because I told him to mention it so he'd piss Eli off.
Oh, shit! How did I miss that?
And he said that I paid my dues, my union dues, for impersonating his voice. He's got a great sense of humor. I really enjoy that Howard will kind of laughs off because I do a pretty scathing impression of him.
Oh yeah, all that dickcheese.com whatever.
Yeah.
/ Dick Cheese.
Yeah, when Greg Q shows up and he starts to mention hashtag Howard Dick Cheese, I'm like, well, it's gonna get a laugh, so I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I think Howard's a good guy. I don't really care what anybody else thinks of him. But he hosts good streams.
Yeah, well, and most of his presentations are, I mean, Howard Dare, seems very genuine. He seems like kind of guy to be a fucking blast to barbecue with.
Oh yeah, he'd be one of those guys you would share war stories with, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I don't really know any of his war stories. I just know what what I've seen in his presentations and heard him say on his streams.
Yeah, me too. I just think that he would be one of those guys that you could talk about your experiences with women with, and he would probably come back with something even more profound and funny than you said in the first place.
Yeah, who knows? It's funny every time you talk about women dropping things in the supermarket. It reminds me of. Did you ever see Animal House?
God, forever ago.
For that.
I've seen it. It's just not one of those that I keep rewatching.
Right. Well, there's that scene where the dean's wife is in the supermarket, and the straight kid from from the fraternity, the straight man from the fraternity tries to pick her up by flashing a zucchini at her.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good scene. And thanks, Woosh, for the compliment. That video you're talking about, the very last Coach Levi video I made, that was completely. You can thank Joe Buddy for that because he's the one who suggested that I make it. Joe, I'm sorry if this gets you some ire from the life coach, but if it wasn't for you, that second Coach Levi video would not have been produced.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to kind of move on from the whole thing since I had so much fun with him the first time.
Yeah, I'm trying to move on too, but he just gives you so much ammo. And Darren says that his streams are boring without us. Yeah, I know they are. I can't even comment. He is such a pussy. He has blocked me from even commenting on his streams. So I still go. I go over there and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, God damn it, quit being a woman. And I type it, and then it gets deleted instantly. I know I'm banned, but I still waste my time typing out that he's a woman.
Well, the thing is, I mean, you can lash out at the whole freaking community and still be on speaking terms with a guy like Charles F. Gray, who's lawful neutral. But most guys, our instincts are to take sides, and if the shit, if it gets too out of hand, like if someone's screaming from a parking lot, they're just going to be like, well, maybe I will go check out that Chris Cantu guy and see what his videos are about.
Yeah, no joke. I'm sure Chris's popularity is spiked because of all the bullshit.
Yeah, who knows? Actually, what I'm hoping, based on the number of views, I'm guessing that a lot of people. I'm guessing there's. Let's see if there's. Let's say there's a million MGTOW watching YouTube, or a million men watching, guys' channels on YouTube. Given the view counts during that period, I'm guessing that 999 or 999,944 guys have no idea that all that shit even happened.
Yeah, it's just a drop in the bucket, and it's being blown way out of proportion, I think, really.
Well, you got to hand it to them. I mean, what does it take to wind up on the radar and actually memed in videos from a guy like MGTOW 101?
Yeah, I agree.
But I guess a life coach would say even bad press is good exposure.
Pretty much. Chris Jones is responding to Darren in the chat. He says, sadly, he's fascinating. We're talking about the Brussels sprout. Said I've never seen a blue pillar be this involved and take it so personally. Plus, he's so weird. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it is what it is. He's trying to break into a market that doesn't want him. I mean, it makes for good television. Let's not get that wrong. It makes for great television. The drama is juicy.
When I was a kid, great television was like I Dream of Jeannie, Gilligan's Island, Bewitched, anything with a super hot chick in it. But and of course we also had National Geographic for the serious educational stuff. But for a 9 or 10-year-old kid to see Ginger on a deserted island wearing a sparkling evening gown, it just didn't get more fascinating than that.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. There was the
James Bond movies, and you could always count on the James Bond movies to take it to the next level.
Oh yeah, the fucking Gunfire and Top Shelf Pussy, all in the same 2-hour span. What's not to like?
Yeah, and crazy gadgets, Aston Martin convertibles that have more weaponry on them than an F-15 Eagle.
Oh yeah, no shit.
Fun shit, indeed.
Oh wow. Wow, we got some good chats here.
I know. I've been reading them.
I like Neo. Yeah, I understand. I like to do both things. Like the depression stream that Jamie and I did the other day is one of the best things I've ever created on YouTube, in my opinion. Even with all the drama in the middle when JB came on, that was a video that I've wanted to do for a while, and that was the perfect setup to do it. Jamie and I are good friends, and I like doing content with him because he's a good personality to have. And we're the same, but we're different kind of guys at the same time. So that was a great stream to do. And then, of course, I can do my Coach Levi impressions. I can do my Howard Dare impressions, and we can do shit show streams and have fun, or just shoot the shit like Dynamite and I are doing tonight. And it's good to be well rounded and have all different kinds of content. So the drama is fun. And then I'm really glad that Darren is on the good side. Your MGTOW Mindframe cult gear will be in the mail shortly.
Yeah.
That you've officially turned on the Brussels sprout. I'm sorry to record that live, but he's the personality type that turns people against him. I mean, he wants to try, but he's failing in reaching anybody because he's himself, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like maybe we could. I wonder if there'd be some way we could crowdfund like cult support for people who get into MGTOW Mindframes channels. Like they could if they sign up on his Patreon page. Different levels have different rewards. Like you might get like a bag of trail mix, or like if you're exceed a certain level, you might even get like a tent and a sleeping bag, and like some trail mix and some jerky and some what do you call it, ready to eat meals.
Oh yeah, some MREs.
MREs, yeah.
The highest level though, you get JB's official book. It's called "How to Piss on Bitches' Faces for Fun and Profit" by JB.
Oh, well,
Gunner.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just imagine the way a guy's face might light up when he gets his cult pack in the mail.
I know. I'm waiting for mine because I really need that fucking book. I got to learn how to piss on bitches' faces.
Well, I mean, you take one look at me and that, the first thing I would be after is the trail mix.
Yeah.
Little dried carrots and shit. Yum.
Yeah. All that delicious rabbit food. Perfect for a little 7-pound fuzzy white ball of fur. Or if you got a bag of bread, Napalm Mallard would probably like that. I like
who
how
is
somebody
that anyway? Is there an actual? Is that an actual person?
That's an actual account. Somebody took my my fake name from my last Coach Levi video and made the fucking profile. I love it.
When I first saw it, I thought someone was just goofing off, and Napalm Mallard, man, that's funny. It gives you a vision of like the scene in the beach scene in Apocalypse Now, only instead of F5 tigers flying over the jungle, it's a flock of mallard ducks go zooming over it, and then it lights up.
Fuck yeah. Napalm Mallard. Love the smell of napalm in the morning, guys. Love it. Whoosh, he did take down all the comments from his first live stream. He has no transparency. If you really want to go into that, he's about as transparent as mud.
Yeah. The only time I ever went after him was the day after I melted down after he did his little Elliot Ness 2-bit IRS agent investigation into my donation practices. The next day he goes on and gaslights the fuck out of me on his channel, and that pissed me off. I didn't even listen to most of it, but that night he was going to go live again, And you know how his intro is, uh, I'm here to help you achieve anything you desire, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
and all that. Well, I was over in the chat, and I think I was one of the first ones in there, and I countered those, as fast as I could type and hit enter. And I think I laid down like 12 rebuttals just to his introduction in like the first 40 seconds of that stream, and he shut it down and said, well, I'm going to have to shut down this stream and I'll be starting up here again in a minute. And then he blocked me, and I wasn't
Yeah.
even going to go on it again. I had achieved my goal. I pissed him off, and that's all I cared about. And then I washed my hands of the whole thing.
Yeah, those are the tactics he likes. He likes to use those female tactics. He is all about the womanly charm. I love you like a brother, Rabbit, but you donated to Chris Can too, and I got to ban you. I just got to ban you. You don't agree with my message. You're not a part of my community. And I don't like that. No, he's not transparent. He doesn't give a fuck about a man. He doesn't. That's what really pisses me off, aside from what he did to you, is that he says he cares about men. He doesn't give a fuck. It's all about Dana and his pocketbook.
Well, and the thing is, after yakking with him and Charles a few times on his show, it was beginning to dawn on me that, that he would essentially respond to anything you said by trying to reframe how, he either wouldn't have to deal with that because he understands people, or, like he'd never been confronted with that situation because, quote unquote, he respects his lady, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, who's coaching who? And, it's not like I was even looking for a live coach. I mean, the only reason I went on his show in the first place is because he hit me up in the chat and said, hey, if you want to call in and tell us how you became a MGTOW monk, that'd be great. And then you saw what unfolded.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. He got so pissed off about everything, but I just wanted to yell at him like, dude, Dynamite was the only one to come on your show when no one else fucking would because they hated you. So you should be thanking Dynamite Rabbit for actually coming on to your goddamn show, right?
Well, I think I was talking to Charles, and I said, that whole situation for me was, I came in not knowing anything about his history with JB or anybody else, and so I walked into essentially what was already a bar fight in progress, and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was having broken bottles, bouncing off me before I even realized the fight was on,
Pretty fucking much. Pretty fucking much. Goddamn. Nah.
It's about the only thing I do now is, I mean, if I specifically see someone saying that, they're MGTOW and they've been invited to be, interviewed on one of his shows, all I do is say, hey man, be careful what you tell that guy, because he's gonna fucking flip it on you.
And just pretty much, if you're gonna go, here's the straight scoop. If you're gonna go on Eli's show, this is for anybody watching in the replay, because I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat knows how he is. If you go on his show, just agree with him 100%, and then never interact with him again. Because the second you disagree is the second he goes on the attack. And all of a sudden, he's victim number one. So it doesn't matter. You could have watched your grandmother take her last breath after being hit by a bus right in front of you, and it wouldn't matter. Wouldn't fucking matter.
Well, the thing is, I get the impression that I mean, we've already figured out, or others have already figured out, that he's not purple pill at all, actually.
Oh, no, he's a blue pill, white knight, simp, cuck, mangina. Isn't that right, baby? That's
yeah. Right. But the thing is, it's, I mean, this is what feminists will do too, you know, like, and I'm sure you've encountered it. You know, you'll be hanging out like on the patio of some favorite tavern, and you know, like a hardcore feminist will entertain your point of view until they think they know enough about it, and then they turn around and go on the attack. You know, and all of a sudden you're a toxic male, you're this, that, and the other thing, and the only reason you think the way you do is because you're so fucking privileged, you know.
Don't forget, guys like that, like us, we're emotionally unstable.
Well, yeah, exactly. But you know, it's a very similar tactic. It's like draw the person in, find out what they're about, and then repackage it and throw it back at them as a hand grenade. In my case, it was darn near a holy hand grenade in my case.
Yeah, that he lobbed a pretty big grenade at you. Pulled the pin, just fucking chucked it.
Yeah, but but you know, I think he fucked up the count. You know, because the count shall be 3. You know, or you know, not 4, not 5. Anyway, that's out of the movie. But yeah, the other thing that was kind of irritating is that, like, Charles, you know, uh, we would get on certain topics like that had nothing to do with the manosphere. Like at one point, we were even talking about Greek history, you know, and it quickly became apparent that Eli doesn't know anything about Greek history, you know, and and I'm like, okay, so why did we even start talking about this stuff then, you know? But because he was like, yeah, well, you know, well, that's pretty much it, you know. I'm Greek and I'm still standing, you know. I'm like,
so then, if he and his lady get married, would that be my big fat Greek wedding then?
You had to go there. I don't know. I honestly don't know what that would look like. But you know, let me put it this way: even Kate Upton, you know, and Jason Verlander don't do bedroom chat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I'll bet you if they did, you know, as long as the lighting was good on Kate Upton, they'd have 50,000 subscribers overnight.
Yeah, guaranteed. I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't know if it was Jamie and I that were talking about this, or somebody else was like, why do you feel the need to be involved in every aspect of every person who you interact with's life? Like, I don't give a fuck what Dynamite Rabbit's doing right now, other than being on my stream. You could have 5 women tied up in the stable house at your ranch, and it's none of my goddamn business. But people like Eli are like, well, what? Per se, what are you doing right now? You know, what? Tell me everything about your life. I want to know it all.
Yeah, right. Orange Partisan says Eli is Greek history. That reminds me of Joe Buddy. I mean, a man of few words and all of them profound.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't heard much out of Joe Buddy tonight. Normally, our big hangout that we're all in is popping, but tonight it's oddly silent.
Well,
Must have had a long honeydew list.
You know, Joe's not unhappily married. You know, I mean, I'm amazed that he spends his time talking to, you know, MGTOW people and purple pill guys, because most people who, you know, are quote unquote happily married, they're not going to pay attention to any of that stuff because it doesn't apply to them. And you know, it's like Brandon only comes in to, you know, basically remind us that he can outdrink us, outfuck us, and out whatever us, you know, whenever his dishwasher, you know, is running right. But yeah, Joe, I find it very interesting that Joe's interested in any of us.
Yeah.
And I consider him a friend, you know. I mean, yeah, most guys who aren't unhappy in their marriage wouldn't be, you know, interested in MGTOW at all.
Yeah, I think in Joe Buddy's case, maybe is he was probably interested in it before he went to get his new wife, and it may have just stuck. At least some of the knowledge is probably just stuck, and he wants to continue to learn more. But I don't know. That'd be a question for Joe, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm gonna, it's not like I'm gonna say, "Hey, Joe, come on, man, do a bedroom chat for us. We want to know everything."
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, quiet. So actually, quiet Sunday morning.
Yeah, actually, which brings me to the fact that I've gone like a half hour over what I planned on doing. So
yeah, right.
I'm about to pass out, and I don't want to do a repeat of Jamie's show Friday where I passed out on the computer.
Yeah, just be sure to thank everybody who was watching and in the chat, and
yeah, I do pay attention to my chat a little bit, but that, of course, that means I don't give a shit about my channel, according to some life coaches. But I would like to go ahead and thank everybody for being in the chat. Darren, MGTOW is the only way to live. Hope you get your setup figured out, because I'm looking forward to coming on your show that you're going to talk about the life coach Levi drama that's going on right now. It'll be an honor to be on your stream whenever you get that figured out. We got the big MGTOWski in now, and Neo's been here, and Whoosh has been here, and Bullets for Teeth showed up at the 0 hour. Good to see all you men. I'm glad that you all came through to listen to me and Dynamite Rabbit wax poetic about everything that's been going on, and about music, and about whatever we felt like talking about. I'll let Dynamite have a say, and then Dowered Hair might show up and lead us out of this insanity.
Okay, well, yeah, it's always fun, talking to you, Nemo, and like tonight we discussed, violent fan bases.
Yeah,
and although we didn't go see the world's biggest ball of twine this time.
No, I think we may have gotten to the largest collection of spoons in the Southwest this time. Not quite ball of twine level, but it's up there.
Well, maybe next week we'll see maybe next time we'll see a water skiing squirrel.
Oh, that would be a great stop on our roadside tourist trap trek across the MGTOW universe.
All right. Well, good night, Nemo.
All right. Thanks.
Have a good day tomorrow with the kid.
Oh, well, I'm going to have it's going to be a great day. Yeah, Bullets. I would enjoy doing a hangout with you on your channel if you would like, or on my channel. Even though I know you have a lot of the I'm not even gonna try to say, but you have good guests from the hangouts I've watched of yours, and it would be interesting to hop in and see how the other half lives. But anyway, hello MGTOW, hello man, this is Dowered Hair. Thanks for stopping by. Had a good stream tonight, after party for Charles F. Gray's last stream. Wasn't planning on it, but Charles was going to end, and I was still drunk and awake. Little Howie's still up too. We were just trolling the internet and having fun. I want to do a live stream, and thanks for stopping by, gentlemen. We had good times. We talked about music and, of course, Life Coach Levi. It was a really, really good show, I think, for an impromptu kind of gathering of men, of MGTOW men. I just am saying that, all these women still at the grocery store, they're loving on little Howie. They love little Howie. They want to ride him, like I ride my bicycle to the grocery store to see these women dropping things and showing their breasts. Women's nature is to chase after the successful men like Howard Dare, and little Howie, he gets his fair share. They love leeching off the resources of men like us. Anyway, this was a great hangout. I enjoyed it. Nemo was drunk. It was good times. He didn't pass out on his keyboard today. Anyway, as always, I would like you to like, comment, subscribe, donate, and make sure you click the bell so you get all relevant notifications, as I do plan on producing more content for you. Good evening, MGTOW. Good night, men. Thanks for stopping by.